Here we go. We're driving around again. Kind of what I do in construction is drive from job to job. I just checked on a job site. I'm in East Boulder County. Not all the way to the edge of it, but over here we're on 75th, coming up on Arapahoe. They're doing some kind of work on the railroad or something. There's a truck on the rail line over there. I noticed this phone was doing pretty good yesterday, looking out the window, so I thought I'd pan around a little bit and point it out the window again. Not a lot of traffic. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. We're not on major roads. However, this does act stupid. I shouldn't say that. Arapahoe is a major road in and out of Boulder, and it gets extremely congested in the morning and the evening. And but we're hanging out here around, just before lunchtime on a Wednesday, and sure enough, we're going to start seeing a few more cars building up because people, go to lunch. They run errands on lunch around here. They take a half a day, and they go home on lunch, and or maybe they work from home or go, to some appointments for the rest of the day. So they're out and about on the road, at that point. But in general, I'd say a lot of people around here aren't, it's just sort of, we're all spoiled as hell. And it's cold out. We don't unless we have to. We're not starting before 9 or 10. Unless you got to be there at 6, which is cool because you're off at 2, pretty much no matter what you're doing. That's the hotel manager guide that I work for. This is an interesting road. You got a lot of places to pass here with dotted dashed yellow lines and stuff, but traffic's coming the other way, and you don't really have an opening, and there's no rhyme or reason to the way people space traffic. Like they don't try to catch up to the car in front of them or any, there's just literally, and then every other driver is like I said yesterday, trying to prove a point. So there's no point in going, and you don't have to be anywhere any faster. What are you going to do? Get there 9 seconds ahead of me? I mean, maybe, but my 9 seconds might be worth more than your 9 seconds, I think, is sort of what it boils down to at the end of the day for a lot of people. There's a county vehicle, there's another county vehicle, and a Jaguar. What do I have to do here to kind of bring the environment that this is to light? I mean, just look at the mountains. Look at the mountains. Imagine a environment where, for instance, the worst child murder in American history is still unsolved. Terrible example, but the level of sort of meh starts here, in my opinion. Here, and I guess the richest zip code is in Miami. I got this little island in Miami, but I'm more and more convinced that there's only a certain select few areas where middle class America even remotely exists, and hasn't really started to be, or let's say we're still able to ignore sort of what's going on to some extent. There's a huge aerospace. Look at this guy. He slowed down for no reason. There's nobody in front of him. There's literally nobody in front of him. There's a green light. We're doing 45 miles an hour. But just creep up on this yellow light for no reason, and he's gonna wander to the right. Oh yeah. Oh, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. We're gonna just shoot where we're going instead of worrying about this guy. We're gonna We got a green arrow coming up. Usually, often enough around here, there's a green arrow, right, in the lights around here, and it lets you go first a lot of times. It's really annoying to people who aren't, used to the left lane clearing, and they have to sit there and wait for the left lane to go. Depending on time of day, that's not always the case, or they just clear the left lane. There's another sensor, I think, in the road that activates depending on whether or not there's actually a car there. So it's not just an automatic green arrow when the green light shows up. It starts to time, especially at rush hour, it starts to get really stupid. There's certain left turn arrows that only last long enough for literally like 1 or 2 cars. I remember when my mother started noticing the way they're rebuilding the roads, and my family used to live out here years ago. One of the first things she mentioned was that traffic light at Arapahoe only is so short. Like, I can't believe it. And what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I think it's, to a certain extent, revenue. There's a revenue generation built into pissing people off with traffic lights, because if they run lights and you catch them, you get to write tickets. So making people sit at traffic lights and burning up whatever time you got on this planet, hanging out at a light, they don't care. They don't care, because they'll burn up all your time if you let them. They'll just sit you down in a 3 by 8 foot piece of shit concrete hole where you can lay your head down next to your own toilet and forget all about you, man. So traffic lights, that's just the beginning of wasting your time. We go on and on about government, state, in general. I mean, seriously, these were all dirt roads. What's the real, what is it? What is it that makes people do what they do? And if there was nothing, would everybody, the sociology's been proven, the psychology's been proven over and over and over and over again. People are mostly good. Without any rule of law, people still have a tendency to do morally right things. And if they didn't, if chaos and anarchy and homicide was the base state of mental state of people, if people were more bad than good, if that was true, we wouldn't bother organizing ourselves, having governments and courts and due process and discussion. There'd really be no need for language even. There'd just be guttural sort of rock throwing and maybe you'd need the middle finger, or like the thumbs up, thumbs down. That'd be about all you'd need for communication. And you could do that from a distance. You could decide how many people what is that, it's like a chimpanzee troop. It only gets so big before some male, some over testosterone male starts killing and eating everything and has to, this all plays out. People, the people that play off of the base fear of society running amok are doing just that. They're insurance salesmen for insurance you don't need, is essentially that the fear base of what could happen has to run into proven history over and over again where wars aren't sought, they're fought and then stopped. Like so many, I think that's become sort of fuzzy too. Like the reason for war isn't to end the war, it's to like get jobs and you can make some money selling shit to people. it's that alone is confusing enough. The war machine and the industry attached to that, and oh shit, if we keep fighting, we can keep making the stuff, and people keep having jobs. Yeah, that's true, but there's other jobs. I think once peace is established and once you have a society, it's important. I believe that's why you know, to some extent, the space race, the Apollo missions, the space shuttle, things that have lost. You know, you're taking what money that used to be put into fighting and trying to find something good to do with it, and doing something good with it, advancing humanity, advancing scientific research, advancing knowledge, advancing, you know, and that's a human goal. Even the Ruskies, even the communist Russia was participatory in the space race, which could be argued was still a segment of the Cold War. Point being that you do get progress and technology. The main drive for technology has been war. People should not forget that. Holding your phone, doing all the stuff that we do, enjoying the technology that we all enjoy is only possible because of the advances in war. The gun is the hardware, the bullet is the software. Argue with me. Tell me what you think. Have a great day, everybody.